Henry Cavill is no longer Superman, and I, for one, am cheering James Gunn's decision to give him the boot. I don't care how many fans Henry Cavill Superman has, nor do I care how much people love Zack Snyder and his Snyderverse. Both were absolutely wrong in every way. Any true fan of DC, as I am, hates the Snyderverse and is celebrating its long overdue death with gusto. And I don't care what anyone says. Not only were all of the DCEU movies terrible, with convoluted, foolish plots and awful CGI, but they were even worse representations of the heroes they were supposed to highlight. The only one that was any good was Black Adam. He wasn't anything like he was in the comic book, but the movie was fun and engrossing with mostly happy heroes that refused to kill. And the costumes were rad. But I'm not even sure if that was in the DCEU or not. I don't know if anyone knows for certain anymore. But that's besides the point. The biggest mistake in the DCEU was the treatment of the world's greatest superhero, Superman. He was gloomy, glum, selfish, and lustful. The exact opposite of the action ace that we all know and love. But why? Why was he portrayed so wrong? To answer that, we need to look at the writer, Zack Snyder. Snyder believes in author and philosopher Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism. Objectivism, in short, says that everything comes from a selfish place. You are your own god. You are the only thing that matters. And self-responsibility is the name of the game. None of that's very Superman-like. On the contrary, it's quite satanic. So satanic, in fact, that that's what modern-day Satanism is. It isn't devil worship like most people think. It's Randian objectivism with rituals. Nothing more. And that's why in the movies where Cavill Superman appears, Snyder had people reaching out, clamoring just to touch Superman like he was Jesus Christ. Or why he flies into the sky, arms spread like the Messiah. He's a god. And then you have Ma Kent telling him that he doesn't owe the world anything. This is objectivism. Godless, selfish, and the opposite of the Man of Steel in the comics. I'm not saying you shouldn't be an objectivist if you are or want to be. What do I care what you believe? It doesn't affect me, and this is America. Do what you want, as long as you aren't hurting anybody else. But Superman isn't an objectivist. Well, that's a very brief summary of why he was written wrong. He was not standing for truth, justice, and the American way, but for the director's own philosophy. But a written character doesn't appear on screen. Someone has to portray him. Now we get to Henry Cavill, the man who brought Pooperman to life. I know that Cavill has said he wanted to play a hopeful, cheerful Superman, to which I say, great! Then why didn't you? Yes, he signed a contract and was obligated to uphold his end of the bargain. But why sign it in the first place? You, as an actor and a fan, have two choices. 1. Stick by your love of the character and say, no, I won't play him this way. Or 2. Play him that way and shut your mouth about how differently you wanted to play him and how much you love the character. Because clearly you don't. You have created a whole generation of Superman fans who see the Man of Tomorrow as Superman, the flying Satanist. That falls on Henry Cavill. So James Gunn, thank you for booting Cavill Superman. I know that this doesn't mean you hate Cavill as a man, but you wisely realize that he was not the right guy for the job. I have faith that James Gunn can make a great Superman film. Whether he does or not remains to be seen, but I do believe he has the talent and that his heart is in the right place. And remember, there have been many great Supermen, each who played it a bit differently, but remained true to the character. Kirk Allen, George Reeves, Christopher Reeve, Dean Cain. Supermen won it all. Gunn can do this, and I'm happy he isn't doing it with Henry Cavill. Until the next video.